This is ABC 7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus. Thank you for joining us. It's being called France's deadly terrorist attack in at least 2 decades. 3 gunmen are accused of opening fire at a satirical newspaper in Paris, killing 12 people. Thousands of demonstrators gathered in Paris, declaring they were not afraid after today's horrific attack at the offices of French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo. There's a massive manhunt now underway for the gunmen, 2 brothers in their 30s. French police say a third suspect, an 18-year-old, surrendered to police. French officials also say it was carefully planned.
This was a hit, a professional hit. They were cool, calm, and collected. They had fire discipline. Their bullets hit the targets.
They called their names and shot them. It was clearly an execution. They knew the men they were hunting.
Charlie Hebdo has been threatened several times in recent years for its caricatures and controversial cartoons. In 2011, its offices were firebombed in retaliation for a cover featuring a spoof of the Prophet Muhammad. Well, of course, these shootings have sparked emotional reaction here on the Suncoast. ABC 7's Ray Collins is joining us with more on that tonight. Ray.
Haley, no matter where you're from, reaction on this one remains sadness and anger.
It's terrible. It's so terrible.
Malika Apple is from France, and she's been following French news reports on her tablet from her home in Bradenton.
I felt so sad for the families, for those people who that's happened to them.
What's happened is France's deadliest terror attack in years. Malika says she talked to one of her friends in France earlier in the day.
Like me, you know, it's a very bad situation, and you don't know how to feel.
It's believed the killers may be well-trained Islamic terrorists. Witnesses say one shouted Allahu Akbar, Arabic for God is the greatest. Outside the Islamic Society of Sarasota and Bradenton, nobody wanted to talk about the shootings. The facility's former spokesman told us this on the phone.
It's stupid, absolutely stupid. We were horrified. I was horrified when I heard it this morning.
Khatib says violence is the last thing they want.
Very sad indeed, because Islam does not promote nor encourage this act at all.
And Khatib, like Malika Apple, have one thing in mind.
We're just right now thinking about those people, the families.
Yeah, Samira says it's simply taboo in Islam. Haley?
All right, thank you, Ray. A mobile home fire takes the life of a 78-year-old Bradenton woman. The fire happened just after 3 p.m. today at the Bradenton Windmill Village on 63rd Avenue West. Cedar Hammock Fire Rescue got to the scene within minutes. Once the fire was extinguished, the body of the victim, Margaret Anderson, was found inside. The state fire marshal has been to the scene to investigate the cause of this fire. 3 arrests are made in the case of a Sarasota home invasion murder. Jonathan Jeffrey was killed back on December 14th at his home on Summerside Lane. His wife had told detectives 3 men broke into their home, demanded drugs and money, and then tied them up. One of them allegedly shot Jeffrey in the back of the head before leaving. 23-year-old Christian Theodore has been charged with second-degree murder. Theodore's girlfriend, 20-year-old Azalea Mendoza, has been charged with accessory to homicide. And 27-year-old Byron Jones has been charged with principal to second-degree murder. The sheriff's office says detectives were led to the suspects based on the vehicles they were seen speeding away in from the house. They also obtained surveillance video from Walmart that reportedly shows Theodore and Jones buying the items used in the crime, including cable ties that match those found on the victims. The sheriff's office says this is still an active investigation. The Bradenton teen charged with 2 counts of vehicular homicide in November in a crash is now charged with grand theft. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office says 17-year-old Emerson Herrera was driving a 2003 Ford Explorer, which was stolen early that morning. He ran a red light at the intersection of 26th Street and 53rd Avenue in Bradenton, hitting another car and killing Gabriella Longpre of Bradenton and Jessica Costanzo of Venice. Herrera has entered not guilty plea pleas to the charges. He will be arraigned on Monday morning. Sarasota Memorial Healthcare System is ready to welcome its new chief operating officer. After a 4-month national search, SMH chose Lori Liang from Maryland as its next COO. CEO David Verinder is excited to welcome Lori to the team. He explains how SMH plans on utilizing her skills.
Well, we're going to continue to find out where her strengths are and where her interests lie, but I think certainly we'll be working on us when we're looking at evaluating our trauma center, our teaching programs, and also our future cancer opportunities, oncology opportunities.
Liang joins SMH with more than 25 years of experience in the healthcare industry. Throughout her career, she has focused on improving public health through disease management and readmission reduction programs. And now it's time to head over to Bob. It is already getting chilly out there, only going to get colder overnight.
All the minds of all the folks along the Suncoast are wondering about this cold Arctic air. They have been for the past couple of days talking about it. The Arctic air is already down into the Panhandle, where temperatures are down to the 30s already in Pensacola, 34 there, 43 in Jacksonville. This will be the big story tomorrow. Folks talking all about how cold things will be getting here across the Suncoast, for us anyway, here along West Central Florida. Temperatures now not all that cold, to the mid-50s to even 60s. 52 in Arcadia right now, 62, 10 degrees warmer into Cortez, and 57 degrees now into Venice. The Arctic air that I mentioned is now moving into the Panhandle of Florida. The cold front itself is stretching from the Carolinas all the way down into the Panhandle. This will continue to move in our direction, and winds will pick up too. We're looking at winds gusting as high as 25 to 30 miles an hour shortly after 3 o'clock. There are watches and warnings out for us. We have a wind chill, high surf, a rip current, and a small craft advisory in effect for our area. The area in light blue that you see there, that is a wind chill advisory, meaning wind will be into the mid-30s tomorrow. To wake up and stay with us all the way to about 10 o'clock in the morning, as those winds will stay strong out of the north and northeast. Some of the things you need to do, obviously, limit your pets' outdoor exposure during the morning hours tomorrow, and bundle up the children before they head off to school with some light, loose-fitting clothing, a couple of layers there, obviously. We'll have more in the forecast, let you know about a warm-up headed our way pretty soon, coming up in just a few minutes. Haley?
Thank you, Bob.